Hi, welcome back to the Careful Diver. So this video is shorter and it's just to talk to you about that first dive of a trip, right? The first dive of a trip or the first dive if it's been a while that you haven't been in the water or the first dive of the season. However we want to define it, it's just that first dive. And I was reading a post by a woman on a group I belong to online, and she was really despondent. She said, "Yeah, I'm a newbie. I have, I don't know, 20 dives under my belt, and I did this one dive with my boyfriend, and it was an absolute disaster. And I came out, I'm like, I'm never gonna dive again. That was a disaster, okay?" And it hit me, and I thought, oh, but that's normal. And obviously, a lot of other people started responding, and they were like, "Yeah, that's totally normal." And then I thought, it is, but it'd be nice for someone to say it out loud. So first, I'm here to reassure you. If you go on a trip, or it's the first dive of the season, or the first dive of a series, or whatever it may be, and it goes kind of crappy, it's normal. It's perfectly normal. The first dive is usually a shit show. And in fact, there is literature on the fact that that first dive, statistically speaking, is the one most likely to have incidents, right? Like not great outcomes, sometimes terrible outcomes. And that's literally, statistically speaking, data formed opinion of that's actually true. Why that's the case, that's a little more complicated. And I don't like making up stuff, and I don't like to share anecdotal information if I'm trying to make a video that's more empirical. So I'm going to keep my opinions to myself about why that happens. But I do want to share with you is ways to make it less painful. Okay? So here are some things that I do to try to alleviate the shittiness of the first dive. The first thing to do is to know it's going to be crap. That's actually a big one, mentally speaking, to prepare myself for the fact that I need to relax. I need to lower my expectations. I need to get in, enjoy as much as I can, get out, and be safe. And just remind myself that this is a shakeout dive. This is the one to, dust off the cobwebs and get myself back into the groove, even if I've been diving a lot, okay? That actually helps because it makes me less stressed and less tense, and being less stressed and less tense is actually good when you're diving. Second, I give myself time to go over my equipment slowly. Do I have everything? Is everything working correctly? If you have a checklist, you should use it. Do I have backups to my equipment? Do I have spares in case something breaks? You really want to take your time and do more prep work in a more thoughtful way. Okay? And that's really an important part of the process to try to make that first shitty dive less dangerous and less shitty. Okay? Third, take your time when you're doing the dive before you start adding new equipment or new stuff or new gear. Now, if you're telling me, whoa, Gigi, I just bought all my new gear and it's my gear, like I need to go in the water with it, that's fine. That's not what I'm going at. If you have a new BCD or a new wetsuit or a new fins, that's fine. But what I'm thinking about is if it's something that maybe requires a little bit more attention, right? So I'll give you this example. I did a liveaboard in the Red Sea, and at some point, I wanted to dive with my dry suit, and I was wearing my rebreather to dive, and I had a camera, and at some point, we added a scooter to the mix. I did not go down with all of those somewhat novel things in a new environment at the same time. I did one dive with my dry suit, no camera, no scooter. Once I was comfortable and I did one or two dives like this, I thought, okay, let's add the camera, right? Because it's something else I have to hold on to, something else I have to keep track of. If something is kind of new to you, don't take it out on the first dive. That's what I'm saying. Like introduce it slowly. Leave it for the second or the third or the fourth dive. All right? Okay. Other thing. You know what? For that first dive, either pick a buddy that you know and you're comfortable with, Or if you are going with a brand new buddy, okay, spend some time talking to them about signals. Maybe make sure you understand their gear, they understand your gear. Spend some time acclimating to your buddy. What's the profile going to look like? Are you on the same page about what you're going to be doing in the water, right? That first dive is going to be awkward and maybe crappy, and stuff is going to go sideways, not too sideways, but stuff kind of goes wrong. So make sure you've at least had a communication so you're not also struggling with that while you're underwater. And then finally, if you have a dive master available and this is your first dive of the season, let them know. I really mean it. Just go to the dive master and say, hey, I haven't been diving in 2 or 3 months. So I'm just telling you, I'm rusty. Please keep your eyes on me and stay close to them. And there's no shame in that. I mean, really, like that first dive is crappy. So these are ways that I have been able to kind of mitigate the crappiness. And I hope this helps you. And I hope you get to go on and have wonderful, beautiful experiences and go diving in the world. And just remember that first dive, it doesn't count, right? It's like the first pancake or the first crepe that you cook. You know that rule, right? The first one's always shitty, so you're going to have to throw it out. I don't throw it out. I just eat it standing at the counter like an animal. But, I mean, you know, the first crepe, the first pancake, the first dive, it's not real. It doesn't count. It's not really real, okay? Take it easy. Do the best you can. Come back out. Get yourself situated, and then go back in and have a great time.